Welcome back to another episode of Camp Time is Real Time. I'm your host, Sarah Lebrecq, and here we are during camp. Today, it's the week 1 recap. And joining us, special from the Lebrecq house, is Quinn. What's your name?
I am Quinn. I am just from the Chipmunks this year, and my mom might not be in camp, but she has a couple things to say.
Thanks, Quinn. My name is Sarah. I am the head of podcasting, and
She used to work at camp, but she got older, and she wants to be a
Dragonfly.
camp troop.
It's got to be a camp troop.
Yeah.
Can I be in the oldest one? The Hawks?
Sure.
Hawks?
She didn't mean dragonfly, she meant hawks.
Yeah, exactly. Quinn and I are going to take you through week 1, and what a week it was. So for the first week, perhaps you've noticed the average temperature has been about 450 degrees, which is exciting. So that is the backdrop on which we find ourselves. And Quinn,
Yeah.
I want you to tell me about that first day of camp. How did it feel to be back at camp for your first year not in junior camp?
Well, it felt a little scary. It took a little time for Willa to arrive, but she is my best friend. We are still in the same troop. Never will, never have, never will change. I hope. I'm really hoping that stays. For the first day of camp, I didn't know anybody. Only, I think I recognized Maggie too. But,
In your troop, you mean?
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And who are your counselors?
My counselors are, Casey is my head. Tessa is assistant. Who was my CIT, and Reese was my CIT, but now I will have 2 other CITs this session.
Yeah, and I'll say one of the great things about that first day of camp is pulling up, and the first thing you see are all of the CITs lined at the fence waiting to welcome all the campers back to camp. Go ahead.
And always, on the first day of camp, they always wear that camp shirt. They sometimes don't sell them at the first day because they're really hard to make. Not because of the green, because of the FCDC part.
There you go. So you got into camp and you found your troop and you guys started your day, and it was a great first camp day. The bell was ringing along as it should. And then, Quinny, what happened to the bell on that first day?
On the first day, when we were walking to sing, I saw Billy playing around with the bell. Once Sam announced something, I listened, and guess what? Ari, from Games, he went up and he broke the bell string. Mind blown.
And I don't think he did it on purpose. I think the string was old and it broke, because Ari's a pretty strong guy.
But everybody figured out that Ari is the strongest person in camp.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And Sam actually said that in live, and that makes pretty proof sense.
Definitely. So that was great. It was a great first Monday. It was pretty hot. I definitely, when I picked you and Aiden up, I was chatting with some folks that I know, and they said it was a great first day, and boy, was it hot, and they were excited to get back for Tuesday to do it all over again. Okay, so on Tuesday, we had another hot one, but the good news is it was the first counselor competition of the year. And Quinn, do you want to tell us, before we get into the counselor competition, can you tell us what the team names are this year?
All right, the team names are Red, White, and Blue, And this counselor first competition is swimming. They were on floats. They got the team huddled up and figured out which float they wanted. Team red had a pineapple float. Team blue, I think, had Team blue had the a USA number 8 float, and Team red had and Team white had the snake, like the snake.
Ooh, gross.
And the team who won was Elizabeth. Team red. Elizabeth was the captain. She is also my counselor friend. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So was it fun rooting on the counselors in that competition?
Yes, it was very hard.
Yeah.
Because it was hard rooting against Mary and Elizabeth. So it was a hard decision. But since one of the Pantiaco girls won, that was Elizabeth Pantiaco, I had to root for Team Red.
There you go. And then Quinn, can you tell us about what you did at troop time that day?
Troop time? It was very special. We had to eat snack very fast because Casey and the counselors had a very special surprise down at the little kids' playground. Now, I know this water slide is for baby kids, but we were happy. We were lucky. We got the chance, and guess what? They let us go on the little water slide near the little kids' playground. And guess what? The puppies joined us.
That's great. And another special thing that happened for you, Quinn, was that at the end of the day, you were at the Circle at Flag, and you were so excited because you had had such a great day. And what happened when Sam was getting ready to wrap up the day and ask counselors for announcements?
Well, are you ready? So, nobody raised their hand first except for me. Sam said Tessa, and then Sam said, the first camper who actually raised their hand right here. Lebrecht. I said I had a great day, and it was true. So I said it out loud to everybody, and everybody cheered.
That's so wonderful, Quinn. And so that was going to be, I think, the probably the last announcement of the year for campers, which is great. So I'm really, really proud that happened. And another thing I'll say, just to kind of set the stage for just how hot it was out there. On Tuesday for free swim, Aiden went swimming because there was no lower play because it was so hot. So camp is doing a great job making sure everyone stays nice and cool down there.
We had 2 free swims, and the first...
Well, this is Wednesday, right? So the next day you had 2 free swims, right?
The next day we had 2 free swims. The first time I went to swim. The second wet, so I went to upper play.
That's great, Quinn. And another thing that happened on Wednesday was it's the theme day in the middle of the week. And do you remember what the theme was? Oh, so it must have looked like a real winter wonderland with all that white.
Yeah. So lots of people were wearing their 2 things. Because they're at LCDC and it's really white. Hard to explain.
Yeah, it is pretty hard to explain, but I think you captured it really well. And another thing that I heard was that Mr. T, the famous big turtle who lives in Mine Brook.
I know this one.
Tell us about him.
Well, I was going to Woodlore.
Who's in Woodlore?
Scott.
Yep.
Was putting popcorn into the river. And we said, "Why, Scott?" And I couldn't see him because he was hiding. Only thing he had up in the water was his face. It was really hard to see. One of the troops that we split up, they found a girl Mrs. T and a little Mr. T.
That's great. Mr. T is a celebrity. He's lived in Minebrook for years and years and years. And he's a friendly turtle. The counselors can feed him like Scott can, but you want to stay away from him because he's a legend. You can't get that close to him. So I'm really excited that he showed his face on the first week of camp.
Is he a snapping turtle?
He is, yeah, but he's you keep your distance, and he's a nice guy. Who is the head counselor of boating this year, Quinn?
It is John, but let me tell you the good news. He might be in different activities, but Freddie's still in the Hawks. He's still in the Sparrows. Just he has a different job.
Right, he has a different activity, so he's in boating instead of music, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. And so Quinn, moving along to Thursday, there was a second counselor competition. Do you remember what it was? It was up in the tent.
Yes, I do remember what it was. So it was a blindfolded musical chairs. They brought out a chair and toilet paper.
What? Toilet paper?
For the blindfold, I think.
Oh.
I think it was toilet paper, but you know what? So my she was in it. She was in second place, but who won the last competition is right now in third. It went down. Casey almost won, but you know what? Team Blue is in first right now. So Caitlin C, the other Caitlin, won. But it was pretty hard because there was one chair, blindfolds, and it was very hard.
Which team were you rooting for?
I was rooting for team. I can't decide. They're all very good teams.
That's really cool. Yeah. So it was another great day on Thursday. And then on Friday, it was the first Friday theme of the week. And that, of course, was... Do you remember what the theme was?
Theme was family.
And... Of course, with the theme comes the amazing show that the whole camp puts on. And just to give you a small taste of what that was like, Quinn, what did your troop do as a theme?
We sung Family, and it was really awesome. But then we had to go in the tent because it started to rain. So we had to end it in the tent.
Well, before we get to that, can you tell me a little bit about what your skit was? What did you guys do?
We put our arms up and then we pointed. The theme was family.
What was the song?
It was family.
Was it, "We are family, I got all my sisters with me"? That?
Yeah, it sure was. Thank you, Mom. I can't really remember that song, but that was my skit.
And then, what was did you have a favorite skit, Quinn?
I did, actually. It was the Bears. Their skit was so awesome. I'll tell you all about it. So, half of the troop was the Bears. They had cute little ears. And the other troop was the them. So, they were just humans. And they were fighting. And then one bear in the troop and then the other human, they liked each other. And then they talked to each other. The bears talked to the humans talked to the bears. The humans talked like humans, the bears talked like growl, growl, growl. And And that's why I love that skit. And they finally got together like a family, and then they become family.
And who is the head counselor of the Bears?
Aiden.
That's great.
Aiden, not our Aiden.
Yeah.
The other.
And what activity is Aiden in this year?
Ceramics.
Oh, that's wonderful. And then, so what happened a little bit about more than halfway through the show? Where did you guys have to go and why?
In the tent because it was raining.
Yep, just...
we did the rest of it in there, so it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it was just a passing shower, so you guys finished up there so you didn't get too soaked. And that was great. Quinn, I wanted to ask you, what have been some of your favorite things about being in upper camp?
My favorite things in upper camp are we get to go to upper play and lower play and swim. But when you're in junior camp, all you do is play at the playground and you'll be super hot.
But I mean, all you do is the playground. That's, first of all, not true, but the playground is pretty amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
But now that I'm in upper camp, there are things that are pretty tough. But I am ready to move on. For archery, for an example, I do harder stuff because it's way back. I can't exactly hit the target, but I'm trying my best because that's what I do. You have to try and try so you can be better at that. And
Who's the counselor in archery this year?
Shay.
She doing awesome?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that little dance. Nice job. Audio medium. So what else? Any other great things you want to tell us about the first week of camp? What's coming up next week? What do you think next week's going to be like?
Wacky. I think there's going to be another counselor competition. We're going to have a cookout.
Mm-hmm.
So awesome.
Yeah.
And Mom, known as Sarah Caitlin / is going to finish this off for FCDC.
Okay, you heard it first. All right, this concludes the week 1 recap, and we are going to sing you out.
I'm a hayseed, my hair is seaweed, and my ears are made of leather, and they flop in stormy weather. Gosh, oh hemlock, I'm tough as a pine knot, 'cause I'm an FCDC kid. Tweedledee, 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 52 for this year. Bye!
Bye!
We love you, FCDC!